Welcome to Two Bitches in a Broom podcast. Thank you for joining us on episode 18. And this week's topic, we are going to dive into spiritual growth, environment, and self-care. So that is, how you keep yourself and how you maintain yourself, how you keep your space, I feel like is a reflection also of movement and energy and where you are when you are on your spiritual growth journey. Ascension.
Yeah.
So I think this is a topic that is overlooked when it comes to that. I think a lot of times we tend to focus too much inwardly, when you're think about like spiritual growth, just your own stuff, your shadow and all of that stuff.
Sure.
But your environment also matters because your environment stores energy.
Mm,
Your space remembers.
it does.
Your space knows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in my opinion, I can always tell when my environment needs an energy shift.
Mm-hmm.
If you're feeling lethargic, if you're feeling lazy, lack of a better word,
Mm-hmm.
uninspired, take a look around,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of psychology that will also kind of back up that your space reflects your mental space.
Mm-hmm.
So if mentally you're feeling really clear and you're feeling really inspired, your space is going to reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're feeling stagnant and lazy and not having any kind of willpower, I think your space will reflect that. And the
Oh yeah.
energy in it is going to speak volumes to your ability
Mm-hmm.
to grow or kind of stay where you're at.
Yeah, I agree. Do you ever get like I know this happens to me where I'll just have these feelings of like claustrophobia. And I'm like, I need to like shake it up. I need to like
Yep.
move things around. And my family's always like, and then I'm not hard headed at all. So I don't move furniture myself and change things, flip the whole house upside down and turn everything around. But it does kind of when your space feels a little stagnant and then you're feeling stagnant, moving all that stuff around like shakes it up, cleaning your space.
Mhm.
It is a such an imperative part of your spiritual growth when you are
Absolutely.
going through that process. And yeah, I think I 100% agree. Your environment, absolutely. That
Once a week,
energy.
I have a Tenneco, and I understand not everybody has one of those, but you can do it with a mop bucket and just a regular string mop. Because I did it for years.
Mm-hmm.
For years, I've done it. But once a week, I take Florida water and I mop my entire house. I have all wood floors in my house, and I love it. It feels, you can tell immediately it shifts
Oh
the
yeah.
energy
Yeah.
in the space. I'll take it, and that's not once a week, once a month. I'll also do my walls.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell it definitely makes a huge impact, especially a lot of because I believe in feng shui.
Mm-hmm.
And your kitchen holds, in my kitchen, the way that the map is laid out for feng shui, that holds my money. That's
Mm-hmm.
where all my money is held at. So you bet your damn ass that's going to be sparkling and shining.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally have a bottle of Florida water sitting on my kitchen counter because I'm gonna clean that, I'm gonna shine that off. It's gonna be great up in there, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think your environment can absolutely reflect
Mm-hmm.
your ability to grow in any
Mm-hmm.
capacity spiritually.
Yeah. I have we have I actually take my Florida water and I put it in we have the Swiffer wet mops
Hmm.
for the in between. So because we have animals, so we're cleaning the floors every other day basically.
Yeah.
Um and we have one that likes to drink water and drip everywhere. So we're constantly cleaning the floors. But what I do is I take the Florida water and I put it in the container of
Uh-huh.
Swiffer, the wet mops.
Hmm.
So anybody that goes in to get it to clean the floor is automatically going to get um, energy refreshing as well,
Yeah.
too. You know,
Yeah.
I do that. I do the Florida water in that. I do the Florida water also in like your counter spray and stuff, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think those are great little things to add in that you can do that also clean but also refresh energetically in
Yeah.
your space, you know.
Like, people they use Febreze,
Mm-hmm.
and they spray it all over their furniture. I use Florida water and I will spray my curtains so it kind of carries that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's never harmed and whoever is listening to this and you want to use it, I'm not guaranteeing it's not going to harm yours.
Right.
It's never harmed my particular curtains. It's never harmed my floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's never harmed my Taneco. And it's a good, I think, a year old, maybe a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Never harmed any furniture, fabrics, anything like that.
Yeah. I don't think I've had no, I haven't had any damage from anything.
Yeah. I
And we
mean,
have
not even
the
like, it doesn't even leave like water spots on my curtains,
no, no,
So
because they do that on like couches too, like fabric and
yeah,
and I've
yeah.
never seen anything. And we have laminate, what is it? Is it called laminate waterproof floors?
Okay.
And the laminate wood floors, I don't know if that's right, but they're waterproof. I know that.
Yeah,
And I've never had a problem with using it on anything actually. Now
yeah,
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, like, do your own testing, do
yeah,
your own research,
yeah,
but I have not experienced an issue using it in anything.
yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also think that when people call me, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, when people call me to do house clearings, the first thing I ask them to do is to make sure that the area is vacuumed
Mm-hmm.
and swept
Mm-hmm.
because those dust bunnies that you're cleaning, and this is a great thing, I think, that may help you motivate you because when you are cleaning and you're looking at the dust that you're cleaning and you're like, oh, dust again. Think of it as I'm removing this old energy and I'm bringing in fresh, crisp, clean energy that
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can fill this space with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's essentially what you're doing. So when I'm asking them to vacuum and dust, it's because whatever I'm clearing from that space, I don't want it to collect and stay stagnant in dust bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So
Yeah. I give the same recommendation too if I'm called for a house clearing. It's just, and I explain it kind of in that same way too, of just you're refreshing
yeah.
everything, you know.
Mhm.
So just like when you have that urge to purge your closet and to clean everything out and really go through,
Yeah.
apply that to your house because it's like, teamwork makes the dream work. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I'm coming in, you're doing that, your intention is also aligning with the purpose of why I'm coming. So all of that married together, just think of how much more powerful everything is, right? Because
Yeah.
when I pose it to people too, at the end of the day, that's not my house, that's yours.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
I come in to do a job, I guarantee my work and everything I do, but aside from that, that's for you to take it and run with it,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
absolutely. And I
So,
think it's very interesting how many people they they have a tendency to be very observant with, what we call spiritual hygiene with
mm-hmm,
themselves, you
mm-hmm,
know? So they're making sure, they're doing like their ritual baths and they're
yeah,
instilling
yeah,
personal energy on themselves. But environment doesn't just mean your home. It can be work, it can be your car.
mm-hmm,
Like how long is your commute to back and forth to work?
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm,
know, what is the energy in that car that you're driving? Do you hate your car? You know,
mm-hmm.
do you hate that ride? Be
Right,
very
right.
mindful because you're sitting in that,
Mm-hmm,
right? You're literally sitting in that energy. Are you
mm-hmm.
constantly like cussing because of the traffic that you're sitting in? You
Right.
know,
Do you
do you
notice your
feel,
road rage increases?
yeah, yeah. So it can be extremely beneficial to
Mm-hmm,
absolutely clear out your car, vacuum it out, get some Florida water, get some Aura spray, and clear that out. Maybe throw some crystals in there, throw some traveling crystals in there, some
mm-hmm,
protection crystals, some calming crystals, you know.
mm-hmm.
Um, Amethyst is a great traveling protection crystal, and it's very, very calming. It's like an all-in-one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Throw some lapis in there that will, help your clarity, make you more observant while you're driving. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
fantastic for you,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. I have some um red jasper too. I throw
Oh, that's
in the
smart.
car,
Yeah.
and that's good grounding,
Mhm.
protecting, stuff like that. And yeah, it's you go in any car of mine in any compartment and you're gonna find something.
Yeah. I have
There's
little
always gonna be
bags.
something. Yeah.
I have little bags in all because I have adult kids and they're in all of their cars. I keep one hanging in the trunk and one up
Mm,
front. So
mm-hmm.
both sides,
Mm-hmm.
because people can rear end you too.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. That's
I'm
a smart
const
idea. Like I didn't
yeah,
even think about that in the back because it's all in the console and the compartments. And
yeah.
I mean, at this point, you're gonna find crystals all over the fucking place when it comes to
Yeah,
me. Like, even stuff I didn't know existed. Like, oh, when did that get there?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because that's just my life. But yeah, that's a good idea in the back too.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. My husband, who, I mean, obviously he's not a big crystal guy, right? He's like this big testosterone guy.
Hmm.
And it's not like I'm gonna get him to wear crystal, but I put one in the brim of his hat, that little flap,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
flat
Hmm.
one in his hat. And he came home and that day and he's like, yeah, maybe it's psychosomatic. I don't know, but I feel better. And he would have this issue where that thing come up and I would switch the stones out. And
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it crystals do make a difference in yourself and your environment. It really
Hmm.
does. And something so simple can make a pretty profound change.
Hmm.
So if you're at work, and the cool thing is they're pretty to look at, so you can get away with it, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So you can put it on your desk at work,
Yeah.
you
That's what
know?
I tell people. Like, they don't even have to really know. Nobody has to know
Yeah,
what it's doing
yeah,
because they're just pretty to look at. So
yeah,
you can have it in your space, especially when you are in a high stress job or
or
a really toxic environment and the people around you. You can't control that, but you can control your desk. You can
Yeah,
control where you sit and your peace. So why not set that up to at least give you some reprieve from all that's going on around, you know?
sure. The only
Yeah.
thing I caution is that clear quartz is an amplifier of
Mm-hmm.
energy. So I caution
Yeah.
everyone this. If you're going to wear clear quartz, if you're going to put it in your environment, make sure that you want to amplify what's there.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're in a shitty environment and you're putting clear quartz in it, you're just amplifying the shitty. You know what I mean? So keep that
Yeah.
in mind, you know. If you're looking for like calming, soothing stones, purples, lavenders, pinks are
Mm-hmm.
all good choice. You can't go wrong with any purple, pink, lavenderish colors
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of crystals. Those are all very calming, very wonderful, loving energy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong with those.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always tell people too, with your, when it comes to like even working and putting that in your environment, take a minute to set your intention with that stone, connect with your stone,
Mhm,
communicate with that, because it's, again, you're aligning your energy and your attention with working with
mhm,
that stone.
mhm.
So, not only just clearing it, sure, but make sure you are bonding yourself with that energy too,
Sure.
because they work together.
Yeah.
You work with your stones, every single stone that you have, and if you don't, I've seen it just amplify what is already existent within your energy, whatever topic that stone works with. So,
Mhm,
you know they're great things to use to have in your environment, in your office, in your car, in your home, um in your purse when you're, trotting around through the day, or sprays are fantastic to keep on you as well.
mhm,
Just even spritzing on yourself in your car. And when I tell people, like, when you leave, you ever go into the grocery store, and especially like right now around holiday time, it's just so chaotic, and it's just so many people. Everybody's bitchy because everybody's trying to get whatever they got to get and get out, and you walk out. What do you think you're walking out like, kind of dragging along with you?
uh-huh.
That energy,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you are allowing yourself to be triggered while you're there.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
how how many times have you successfully walked through the grocery store, in especially in a holiday time like now, and been, everything's great, la di da, how often does that happen?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So you're
know.
triggered, and then you just opened yourself up to just pulling more of that, and then you walk out, you go to your car, then you go home. It's just, it's a constant reflection of like your own vibrational state, your spaces, and we all affect our own spaces in every single interaction that we do.
Hmm.
So I think that's
Yeah.
a key piece people forget.
I actually tell everybody, I send this in my client packet. Um, I think it's important that you understand the power of your environment and you are part of that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick aura spray, just clear yourself before and after you walk out
Mm-hmm.
from any place that
Yep.
you feel may have pulled your energy down. And boom, you're back. You're
Yep.
back to, whatever your baseline is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I highly, highly
Yeah.
recommend it. Um, so what are some other things that, I mean, besides Florida water and crystals, what other things do you think that people can do to improve their environment?
um quite frankly, for me, I think the most important thing is your mindfulness and intention.
Yeah.
with
That's a
your
good one. Mhm.
environment, because it's not, and this is, I don't know if you're this way, but this is just how I think about this is we can have all the tools and all the aids
Mhm.
that will help us. Absolutely perfect. Incense, crystals, Florida water, aura sprays, like all of those things. But if you're not progressing in your mindfulness and your intention, it's just like getting up, going back down, getting up, going back down. And you're constantly doing that every
Mhm.
time. You have these tools to pull you and make you feel great. And then you're right back to dipping. So I
Mhm.
feel like, your mindfulness is one of your most powerful tools, your intention within yourself and how you go, and what you choose to interact with and what you choose to entertain in your own energy. So I think that's, to me, that's the number one thing aside from all of the extras.
Yeah.
But incense is another thing that I highly recommend. And if you don't like incense, what are those things called? Diffusers,
Oh
like
yeah.
the essential oils, stuff like that, are also a great additive to your space and help cleaning and clearing the energy
Mhm.
in your space, you
Yeah.
know.
I think that you have to love something in your space.
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Yep.
that. I believe
Yeah.
now, okay, so I'm a Taurus with all
Mm-hmm.
transparency. So Tauruses love to have beautiful things around them. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, what I have noticed, even with my kids, which none are Tauruses, um, if you have something that you love in your environment, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
make you happier, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So, for my kids, at work, it's like, okay, what's your favorite color? What do you really love? What makes
Mm-hmm.
you happy? My one daughter is very, very, very artsy. And it's this, reprint, not the real, but a
Uh-huh.
reprint of a painter. And she just loves it. And she says, every time I look at it, it makes me happy. What a fucking awesome thing to have.
Oh yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're having a, crappy day or whatever is going on, and you can look at that and find some peace and find some happiness, okay, do
Mm-hmm.
that. But it's important for people who are even at home.
Mm-hmm.
Do you love your home?
Right,
Do you
right.
love the space that you're in? Does it feel like you? I think there's a lot of beige. We're in a very beige world,
Oh,
right?
yes.
You know?
Yes.
So what is your favorite color? What brings
Mm-hmm.
you joy? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really, what is it? So
Yeah. The
find
aesthetic
that and
right
put it
now,
in.
the general aesthetic right now is very void of color in everything.
And that is void
Yeah.
of vibration. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that reads to me.
Mm-hmm.
So color carries a vibration. What vibration are you bringing into your home?
Mm-hmm.
What vibration? What do you want to bring into your home? Like if you are wanting to develop a very particular clair, and you're like, man, I really want this third eye to come in, and I really want to have clairvoyance.
Mm-hmm.
Are you equaling, because you are what your vibration represents? Are you
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
equaling that vibration?
Mm-hmm.
So, what would equal third eye vibration? Do you have a lot of indigo around you? Are you bringing that energy to you? Are you
Mm-hmm.
wearing an indigo crystal?
Right,
Think
right.
about that. Like,
Yeah.
really think about that. What in your environment, especially if you're spiritually developing, do you have an area that reflects that?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, what in that environment is representative of what you're bringing to you or that you're
Mm-hmm.
wanting to work on? You know,
Yep.
I just feel like
Yeah.
everything is so beige, and I'm like, man, vibration. of
Right.
that is just
Okay. Well,
so
I can't say too much about that because I mean, you know me, and I am wearing color today,
yeah.
but I'm very basic with my stuff. I'm
Yeah.
typically in like black.
I know we did a
And
switchies
I
today.
know today I'm colorful. Today I have red, but even in my home environment, um, I'm not completely beige like that, but I do have a lot of neutrals, and because it's calming to me, but I
Mhm.
do pops of color. I'm a big fan of like throw pillows and things like that. So
Yeah,
incorporating it all together
and
because
that's
I really
fine.
go, yeah, so I go for like a vibe of feel, of
Yeah.
how I want the space to feel like. But, if whoever's listening out there who identify as like me
Mhm.
with the, black aesthetic and stuff, and I have black walls in my house and things like that too, but even with your own wardrobe, colorful socks, your undergarments, those
Mhm.
are all other ways to pull in that vibration of
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
energy. And only you know that it's there,
Yeah.
only you know that you're doing that. So if anybody's listening to this or watching this and they're kind of like on my end of things where you wear a lot of neutrals or, you know, black
Mhm.
all the time, and you're just not that expressive, colorful kind of person, nothing wrong with that, but you can incorporate it in other ways that are just personal to you.
Yeah. I also think that plants bring life, and that's very
Mm,
feng shui too. But
mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah,
can't help because that's just how my brain works, you know.
right, right.
Um, but plants bring such a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful vibration to your environment, especially when you are on your spiritual path, you
Oh,
know.
yes.
It
Yeah.
it really, really does. If you want, we're heading into 24, and if you want new growth, what a beautiful time to grab a couple of plants and nurture them. And as you're nurturing yourself, you're
Mm-hmm.
both
Mm-hmm.
growing.
Yep.
They provide a wonderful vibration. They provide a better environment just for you to breathe better for most
Mm-hmm.
plants.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and stick with low maintenance ones. Once
Yes.
pick a tropical plant that you water once every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
get a snake plant. Those are great. They can
Yeah.
withstand almost anything. Ask my 20-year-old self and she'll agree, you know.
Let
Uh,
me tell you, I can testify that if I can keep plants alive in this day and age now, you can keep plants alive
oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
in the beginning, yeah, it was, I don't know what it is. And I would be like, isn't it the irony? I'm a healer and I can't keep plants alive to save my life. But it was a process. But so stuff like snake plant, super easy, low maintenance. They thrive on neglect. And it also, I think there was
They
a
thrive
NASA's
on neglect.
they, they thrive on neglect from experience.
Mhm,
But they survive in low light as well.
mhm.
ZZ plants are great.
Yeah.
Again, not a lot of maintenance for those either.
I have one
And
that's like 3.5 feet tall right now, my ZZ plant. I
oh,
mean, it's
nice.
huge, but I put it like in it's like a 3 foot pot because I wanted it to
Hmm.
grow big. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's huge.
That's my goal. I went to the nursery and I saw this massive ZZ. I
Uh,
just have this like little one back here. Well, not little, but medium.
if you put it
And
in a bigger pot, it'll grow.
yeah, there was this big one, like floor one, and I was like, one day I'm gonna come and get you.
Yeah, yeah,
But ZZs are great to have. They're also, I believe, too, in feng shui, an abundance plant, right?
they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Um,
ZZ money tree and then I have a regular money tree.
mhm.
because they're two
Mm-hmm.
different types. They look totally
Yeah.
different too. Um, yeah, they're wonderful abundance boosters. Snake
Yeah.
plants are great to repel
Mm-hmm.
negativity,
Mm-hmm.
in feng shui.
Yeah.
Um, so I have four on my main floor, if that'll tell you anything about me, right?
Right. But I think there was also a NASA study done, right, with snake plants that
Mhm.
actually cleans the air,
Yep,
like the potency of cleaning
yep.
the air. Yeah. Aloe's a great plant to have
Mhm.
easy maintenance
Mhm.
for an aloe plant. But yeah, it's plants are excellent in your environment,
Mhm.
not just, I always kind of look at when people have, I've seen a couple of people that have just all artificial stuff everywhere.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, that's not really doing the
Yeah.
best.
And I have a
At
lot of
least have one or
bamboo.
two, one or two,
Yeah.
you know. Um, an easy plant that will tell you when it needs attention is a peace lily, because
Yeah.
the peace lily will droop and then you got to water it,
Yep.
so that's an easy plan if you're getting into at least having one or two plants, and it's going to tell you when it needs attention.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend at least
Snake
one or
plants,
two.
I think, are the easiest
Mm-hmm.
plants.
Yeah.
For years it was just throw a couple of ice cubes on the soil. Once a week I throw a couple of ice cubes on it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. That's it. That's all it required. And it was super happy, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And they just actually it propagated a whole new snake plant that I ended up getting. I don't
Oh,
even know how
nice.
that happened. I don't know what happened. It was just like, I will give birth to another for you. Yeah. It was really cool though.
Yeah.
But they actually are bringing energy into your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we need the vibration. I believe in utilizing everything that you can possibly get your
Mm-hmm.
hands on to help raise your vibration,
Yep.
you
I
know?
agree. Yeah. Because if you're gonna
So,
do, I don't know, my philosophy is always just like, if you're gonna do it, then you're gonna do it. We're gonna do all the
yeah,
things, you know.
you can use
Um,
aromatherapy, right?
mhm.
Like you were saying with
Yeah.
the incense or diffuser. You can
Mm-hmm.
use the Florida water, which is very cleansing and clearing. You can absolutely use color. There's so many different things that you can use in your environment. And that's another one for the car, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is your car just car? Is it the color of the interior that you bought it? Throw a seat cover
Mm-hmm.
on it that has some color that's going to produce a smile, even if it's silly. Put
Mm-hmm.
a bobble up there on your dash that you think is cool, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
funny or whatever. Put a steering wheel cover on. There's so many different things that you can do that can instill a vibration that you want while you're in that vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's so many things, especially, and I feel like, especially with collectively us moving into more of an awareness of how energy impacts yourself, your space, how you interact, all of these things. I feel like we're going to see more and more people incorporating these elements as the collective becomes more aware
Yeah.
of energy. And it's not no hocus pocus thing, it's not woo woo,
Mhm.
pseudoscience. It is a legit thing.
Mhm.
And just being more mindful of your space, yourself and your space.
Yeah,
So many things you can do. Yeah.
yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. And I feel like that ties right into also just your own, I feel like that marries together with like your self-care in your growth,
Absolutely.
um again, self-care is just not getting your nails done or or getting your favorite coffee, or
Yeah.
treating yourself to a spa day. That's not really self-care in that way, but it is energetic responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
How are you showing up in showing yourself respect? I think self-care should be self-respect
Mm-hmm.
of energetic responsibility. And I think that ties right into the extension of yourself is your space, you know, and they both reflect off each other. So if you neglect your space, what about yourself are you neglecting?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
If you're finding yourself neglecting your space, what is it within you that you are neglecting at during that time? Because
Mm-hmm.
everything's an onion layer of involvement. So something to think about for people, if you're watching or listening to this, they work in tandem with each other, your space, yourself. And I think it's really just comes down to, in my opinion, just how much you show yourself respect versus the self-care,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I think that's an excellent point. An
Mm-hmm.
excellent point. If you are taking the time to be observant of, I can tell how this affects me, then
Mm-hmm.
you are saying, I'm choosing better for self.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Yep.
we are constantly trying to be in alignment with our higher self, that best
Mm-hmm.
all-knowing portion
Yeah.
of us, um, wouldn't the best all-knowing portion of us want the best for us?
Right.
So that doesn't mean, I'm not saying, go on Amazon and drop $200 and buy stuff. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Take what you have, find what you love, remember why you bought it to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like what provoked you to buy that painting that you have or that
Mm-hmm.
picture? You loved it at one point. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember why you loved it? Tap into that. Tap into
Mm-hmm.
that. Remember why you loved it.
Yeah.
And if you don't love it anymore and you're like, yeah, I kind of hate it now, I'm a different person, chuck it. Why do you still have it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Chuck it.
Oh yeah.
So there's so many free prints that are online. Like
Mm-hmm.
you were talking about, you're adding color to your room with throw pillows. I know for a fact because I have them. You can get throw pillows for $5 on Amazon, two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a disorder with throw pillows. I have so many. I love, I love throw pillows and colors. So you can get
Mm-hmm.
really inexpensive. So
Yeah.
just try anything, a blanket, a throw pillow, whatever. Think
Oh yeah.
about that. What vibration do you want? What chakra are you working on? What clair do you want to develop?
Mm-hmm.
What area in your life do you want to really focus on? Look up feng shui, find out where that area correlates
Mm-hmm.
in your house. You have a career center, you have, your money center, you have your relationship center. And I promise you, it will definitely benefit you. Um, so my childhood center is in my bathroom. And I'll never
Okay.
forget this because when I looked at it on the map, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? In my bathroom, how am I going to make this work?
Right.
And I just went on Canva and I made up all these funny different things for the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom, like different sayings. And I put them in frames and stuck them up on the wall. And everybody thinks they're hilarious and they love
Mm-hmm.
them. And it works for me. So I made it a little, kitschy, a little funny, a little tongue in cheek to
Mm-hmm.
represent that childhood kind of amusement and funniness,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that most kids like. Who doesn't love a poop joke? You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're a kid. So
Right, right.
yeah, it's stuff like that. you can find it in you. You can do it. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be hard. You just have to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I am a firm believer, if there's a will, there's a way.
Mhm.
There's you can go out and do you, man. If you want to go and do a whole redo and spend whatever you want to spend, that's your business. But you can also go to, I'm a huge thing of like, even just check the clearance sections of
Sure.
stores. You
Yeah.
never know what you're going to find.
Mhm.
You have that. You have like, I don't know if you guys have this there, but they just started making them, opening them here, Five Below, which is like $5
Oh
a
yeah.
pillow.
Yeah, we have those.
Yeah, I think we have two here now. Or, the dollar store, the 99-cent store.
Mhm.
There's so many little things that and ways and free stuff that you can, free
Mhm.
digital prints. Um, Hell, you can even just get a piece of copy paper and markers or watercolor paint and do something really quick.
Mhm.
With throw pillows, you can even just get coverings like I know like IKEA sells the basic under throw pillow one, and then you can swap out the
That's what I was talking about
coverings
from
for it. Yeah.
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
They sell
Yeah.
two in a pack for $5.
Oh, see?
And
Yeah.
they're
I thought
like,
you were talking about the actual ones. Like,
no, no,
damn,
no.
send me that link.
Yeah. No, and they're like really soft
Mm.
and they've held up really well. And I'm like, for $5,
Oh,
that is
nice.
like unheard of. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I have because in the fall I do like all the colors of fall.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of pillows. It's a lot of pillow coverings, and they're soft and they're great, and you know, it's very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
doable. It's
Oh,
doable.
yeah. If there's a will, there's a way. You just have to think outside of the box sometimes.
Hmm.
I think this is a kind of really fitting too, where just so happen we're talking about this, and the New Year's is coming up. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking about that
yeah,
now. I'm like, oh dang, we're talking about this and New Year's Eve is coming up. So what a great time to freshen your space, do a good clean,
yeah.
um, you know, shift your vibration in your home,
Hmm.
and things for yourself too at the start of the new calendar year.
Yeah.
um you know Start. And somebody told me, I didn't realize, I don't know, did you tell me or somebody, but New Year's starts on a Monday as well.
Yeah.
So, what do we always say? We're gonna start on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's gonna start fresh on a Monday. So why not get the biggest bang for your intention now?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
So if you're putting off like putting up your Christmas stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which we were just talking about
Yeah,
before we came
yeah,
on, right?
yeah.
If you're putting off doing it, don't. Why? Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want the future you to be? How do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Make your environment reflect that.
Mm-hmm. That's something that I always like, and I tell my clients too when we talk about this subject of shifting yourself into your aligning in your highest and best timeline. So if you think of your future self in that timeline and how they would respond,
Mhm.
what's stopping you from starting that now
Right.
when you're going to face something? Well, how would the highest and best version of me respond to this? How would they tackle this? How would they treat this?
Sure.
And start, how would they show up for themselves? And why not start that now?
Right.
Why not start showing up as that now? Because that's only aiding you in anchoring yourself in that timeline, because you're starting the process of shifting your vibration and moving along your alignment and your growth, moving into that timeline. So why not start now? Why not take the rest of this few days that we have do your, declutter, clean one room at a time and, leading up or
Yeah.
whatever, create your plan and then start off and start showing up as your future self
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Oh yeah. So, any final thoughts on environment, self-care slash self-respect in
No.
your growth?
Oh, I think we covered it very well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so just get out there and do it. Don't wait. Don't wait. And if it seems like very overwhelming, if you're looking at your environment, your
Mm-hmm.
car and your work, and you're like, oh man, I got to do it all, start somewhere,
Yes.
pick somewhere, pick a corner,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just pick a corner, because the hardest part is getting started. That's the
Oh
hardest
yeah.
part. When you're looking
Yeah.
at the overall picture, it can seem really overwhelming. Start in a corner and go, okay, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, this corner looks really good. And you'll have the
Mm-hmm.
initiative to keep going. It'll
Mm-hmm.
be awesome.
Oh
It'll
yeah.
encourage you.
Yes. And sorry, not sorry if you end up with a plant obsession after starting off
Yeah.
with one or two. I
Yeah.
make no promises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
crystals, you
Yeah.
know.
I definitely have issues with plants. Every single time I go, I come back
Uh,
with a plant. My husband went to Lowe's and I went with him and I got a water plant and I just think it's
mm-hmm.
fantastic. I love it. And he's like, another one? Because I walk up and I'm holding it like this, like it's a little baby. He's another one. And I'm like, yeah, I love it. Thanks for buying it for me. We hadn't checked out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
Yep.
really? I'm like, yeah, yeah.
I
You're such
know.
a good husband.
My family, every time we go into anywhere that has plants, they're like, stay out of that section. I'm like,
Oh,
I just want to look.
yeah. We're just gonna look.
I'm just gonna look. Like, I gotta go to the nursery. I just have to get this one thing. And then a bunch of money later,
Yeah.
I'm wheeling out.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you want abundance in your house, in your future, in your vibration,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth the investment.
Yeah.
By you nurturing that plant, you are nurturing your own growth.
Mm-hmm.
So keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
Yes. So, yeah, I think that we did. I don't think there's anything left to say as of right now.
Yep.
So thank you everyone for joining us. If you find that this resonates with you or you know somebody who could use this information as well, we appreciate all the likes, shares, and comments. And in gratitude as an energetic exchange, thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next week. Oh, would it be the new year already?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I hope everyone has a safe and wonderful New Year's, whatever you choose to do. Yeah.
All
Catch
right.
you on the
We'll
flip
see you
side.
next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.